everybody and welcome. Today we're back at the shack. I've been holding off on posting anything on social media or on YouTube just because I wanted to make a dedicated video on it, but I'm super excited to show you guys this. It is a 66 Ford Mustang that was sitting in the desert for way too long, abandoned, forgotten, but now it's our time to save it. For those of you who know me and have seen my previous projects, you might be asking yourself, another Mustang? Yes,
another one.
As you can see, this car has seen better days, so it's going to take a whole lot of time, work, and effort, and money, of course, to get it to where we want it to go. And where do we want it to go? To better understand what we're doing with this project, we have to look back at our first two builds. The first project was Little Blue. It was a 1966 coupe with an inline 6 and a 3-speed automatic transmission. It started out in 2013 as a project between me and my dad. That's kind of where my automotive passion started, as that was the first car I started putting wrenches on. Since it had that inline 6, it definitely wasn't getting me anywhere fast, but it also wasn't getting me into any trouble at those younger years. The second project, however, was a 1965 fastback. Her name was Little Red. How creative, right? To explain why that one was named Little Red, there was a Big Red at some point in time, but that's an explanation for another video. That Mustang, however, went through a full-blown restoration. We rebuilt the engine, transmission, redid the wiring, stripped it down to bare metal, and painted it again. Little Red had a 289 cubic inch V8, but just like the first Mustang, it had a C4 3-speed automatic transmission. The 289 had a cam and an upgraded intake. Although it was peppy, it was more of a weekend driver. That one ended up being way too nice for us to throw around and to beat on. We're still waiting on the new owner of that fastback to get back to us in order for us to schedule a date where we can review the car and I could get a video out to you guys. But that's what brings us to this. We'll be naming her number 3 because it is the third project that we build. In order to have the fun that we want to with this car, we're gonna upgrade brakes, suspension, stiffen up the body. If any of you have driven one of these cars, you know they're not exactly the best at handling. We're definitely not putting the inline 6 in here or the 289. I was thinking about going just one step up and going with a 302. So I've had a lot of time to think on where I would like to take this project and what I would like to do with it. And what I'm leaning more towards is a Trans Am style build. Something that'll be fun to take around back roads. Something that you could throw into a corner and know you're gonna come out the other side alive. We're not gonna put in the sluggish 6-cylinder back in there. We are building this Mustang with the sole purpose of having fun.
Mustang.
So a little history on these cars. The first gen was released in 1964 and a half. They were offered in 3 different body styles. You had a coupe, a convertible, and a fastback. You had a couple powertrain options when buying one of these back in the day. You had a 3.3 liter inline 6 that produced a whopping 120 horsepower, or you could go with a 4.7 liter 289 that produced 225 horsepower. And then there's the cream of the crop, the Hypo 289 K-Code engine that produced 271 horsepower. For the gearbox, however, you also had a couple options. You had the C4 3-speed automatic transmission, or you could go with the funner options and go with a manual transmission, which they had a 3 and 4-speed top loader available. This car from the factory came with an inline 6 with an automatic 3-speed transmission. With that being said, let's have a quick walk around of number 3. Let's start up front. So the body in general is all there. It is very rough. The front spindles were upgraded to a V8 style spindle. So you can see the desert has taken its toll on this Mustang. You're not supposed to see through there. There's supposed to be metal in the way. So we need to replace some sheet metal in this car, obviously. That fender apron will need to go. This radiator support will need to go. And I believe this fender apron is also bent, so that will need to go. Our pedal linkages, steering linkages, and motor mounts, brakes, and suspension is all set up for an inline 6, so that will all need to go. Moving down to the inside of the car. The inside is also very rough, as you can see. The previous owner was kind enough to include all this rat poop. So I'm not too sure what to do with the interior of this car. I think I just want to lay some like lizard skin or bedliner type material in here for sound deadening, but I'm not sure if I want to keep the interior just to keep it light. All this old wiring is most likely gonna have to go as well. What do you guys think? Just one race seat and delete all the rest of the seats? I'm also thinking about installing a roll cage. I don't know if I'm gonna build it or buy a kit. Moving further back is where it gets worse. We have a puny diff back here that was for the 6-cylinder with a 4-lug pattern. This quarter panel I think was replaced at some point in number 3's life. I say that because you can see the lip of the wheel well. You're not supposed to see that from the factories. That's enough to believe that this was replaced at some point in time. There is a lot of old bodywork. As you can see, all that Bondo, all that filler everywhere. Moving around back, we get to the tail section, which is probably one of the worst parts of this car. You can see all this filler that was used. This is crazy. Yeah, we have rust going through there. Yeah, this is all super bad. This all needs to go. So now we get to the absolute worst part of this car. This side of the car is absolutely horrendous. You might not be able to see it from here, but let's take a closer look. So we have all kinds of filler in this bottom corner, which is already a bad sign. But take a look at this. Oh my god, I'm not sure how well you can see that. The camera can't even pick up how bad it is. I can't even show you guys. It's so nasty. I don't know if that's the worst part or the rocker panel. This rocker panel is absolutely disgusting. Look, it's caved in, and I think Hal and Keller welded it. Listen, I'm not one to bash on other people's work. People learn differently and people have different sets of tools, but this is something else. These welds are crazy. I don't know why there's so much holes drilled. I don't know if they were trying to pull it out or what was going on there, but oh my god, it's horrendous. What even is this? What is this? I don't even know what this is. I have no clue. So somebody in the comment section asked a really good question. Why Rookie Pilot? Why the name Rookie Pilot? This channel originally was supposed to be an aviation content based channel documenting my experience as a student pilot. But as most of you know, life doesn't always go the way that you planned it. And I had to take a break from aviation in the meantime. But one day I will be sharing my aviator experience with you guys. But for now, we have plenty of things to keep us busy. I would like your guys' help on this build as far as ideas and suggestions on what we could do to make this as best as we can. Luckily, the previous owner was kind enough to include a fiberglass GT350 front bumper for this car. So I don't know if we're gonna put it on yet. Let me know what you guys think. We definitely have a long road before we get to that point, but the only way to get it done is to get it done. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the content that is soon to come. I definitely try to improve with every video I put out. I've definitely learned a lot while working with Sarah from Sarah Intuned, not only with the editing, but in the way I record things and the way I go about showing you guys the task at hand. I like to post these videos to take out the intimidation of working on projects and daunting tasks like cutting sheet metal or welding on a new quarter panel. So that is the good, the bad, and the ugly, or the ugly, ugly, and ugly of this car. I know we're gonna have tons of fun building it. Nonetheless, thank you guys for watching. If you want to follow along with this project, you know what to do. With that being said, I will see you guys on the next video when we start working on this thing.